never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Good afternoon. Hello, lady and gentlemen. How are you?
Awesome. Good to see you.
Good. And you. It's been a long time, but thank you very much for coming on today. We've got some exciting news, haven't we? We've got some really exciting stuff going on. I think, first of all, so that everybody knows who we are, just say a tiny little bit about yourself. Ladies first, Lucy.
Hello. I'm Lucy Cohen, one of the co-founders of Mazuma, subscription-based accounting services for micro businesses.
Fantastic. Richard.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Richard Bruin. I'm one of the founders and joint managing directors at Progress BB. Accountant for 41 years now, so I've been around a bit. But these days we do mentoring and coaching for other accountants.
Fantastic. So you're competition to me then, because I do a similar sort of thing. And then Dermot, come on, tell us a little about yourself.
Great stuff. So I am not an accountant, but I have been working with the profession for circa 25 years. So worked in a couple of software houses. One, you know very well, actually, because we worked together at Digita, 2008, 2011. And since then, I've actually been working for myself. And I sit on two sides of the table. I help software vendors launch into the UK and those that are UK based with their go-to-market strategies. And then I do work with a few accountants on helping them with their digital transformation. Let's put it that way.
And this all links beautifully to what you're launching and what we're going to see in September. So who wants to tell us exactly what it is and why everyone's so excited and buzzing about it?
Okay, Richard, fire away.
Oh, stepped in nicely there, Dermot. So it's our conference on the 21st and 22nd of September down at the Crown Plaza in Marlow. And it's Account for Your Future. So it's the first event that we've run of its kind. It stems from a conversation that Dermot and I were having at the back end of last year, where we were bemoaning all of the negativity around the profession. Accountants constantly being told what they can't do and what they've got to do. And we decided to disrupt that a bit. So the conference is all about opening your minds as accountants to what you can do and the opportunities that are there within your firm, and then giving you the process by which to do it. So it should be a fun event.
No, absolutely. And you've got some amazing speakers there as well, haven't you? Obviously, we've got Lucy, but who else is going to be there?
Okay, so we have, as a keynote, we've got a gentleman called Steve Cunningham. So Steve Cunningham is, he's actually 100% blind. He went blind at the age of 12 years old. Went off the rails a little bit for a couple of years before. He actually, someone arranged for him to go and see his football heroes, which was Aston Villa. One of the players poked him in the chest and said, "Steve, why are you being such a, much an idiot?" Well, what do you mean? He went, "Well, I know you've had a bit of bad luck, but you can't take that out on everybody else, can you? So, pull your finger out and start acting like a decent bloke." And that obviously kind of nudged him to have a good think about how he was behaving. And, subsequently since then, he has played football for the England blind team. He has flown round the edge of the UK in a plane. And he's also the fastest blind man to drive across Lake Windermere. And he's currently learning how to play golf. So very inspirational character. I've seen him speak before, so very down-to-earth message. And I think what will be really important for most people coming along, he'll be bringing his guide dog, who's called Qantas.
Brilliant.
So he's a very good guy, very down to earth. He likes a bit of banter, so he's going to go down well with the crowd. So he is then going to be followed by Brian Coventry, who I just love spending time with Brian. So Brian, qualified accountant, chartered accountant, and has run software companies for the last 30 years or so. So he started off in the kind of Solution 6 camp before he's run Reckon APS, and then latterly Symphony APS in the UK, which is practice management CRM for top 100 firms. And he actually does that on a global basis, Australia, South Africa, US and UK, and been very, very successful doing that. So Brian has developed a methodology called Envision, and this really is going to be the crux of the conference. So, normally that goes out at a very chunky fee to the size of firms that Brian works with. So he runs Envision before he puts any software in these days, because what it uncovers is a lot of issues and restraining forces in firms. So I'm actually been delivering Envision for very kindly allowed to by Brian. So we delivered it to a firm just at the back end of last year, and we actually found there were 33 restraining forces in the firm, which had prevented the firm being successful with other projects, not just technology, but all projects within the firm prior to that day. And actually 50% of those issues were nothing to do with technology. It was all about process, all about people. Well, that lead partners saying, well, I know we've agreed this, and I know we spent a lot of money implementing this software, but I'm still going to do it my way. So there's Brian. Then we have Lucy. So I'll allow Lucy to speak about her good self. We have Dan Richards, who a lot of people tuning in will know. So Dan has been running, well, he now owns, actually, he's just completed a management buyout of My Firm's app. So Dan has a very deep understanding of not just accountants, but the digital landscape, because he's been delivering that in its various guises for the last 10 years or so. We have Joe Edwards. So Joe, again, has been in the accountancy profession, the sector, for as long as I have. So Joe started off as the marketing manager for CSM, if you can remember that. That got swallowed up by Sage back in the day. And she's worked with a couple of other software businesses before she created her own agency, and has very successfully grown that to work with a number of accountancy businesses with a couple of networks. And she also dabbles a little bit in the legal and the healthcare sector, but accountancies is a comfort blanket. So Joe will be talking about, yourself, your personal brand, the brand of you. Who else do we have? We're going to have a panel session in the evening, which I know our good friend Louise from Moneypenny is going to be involved with. And then on day 2, we have the wonderful and extremely intelligent Alexandra Bond-Burnett talking about storytelling and the power of storytelling, and how we need, as accountants, to not just give people a set of accounts, which is just, a piece of paper with a whole number of figures on, but actually turning those, figures into life. And that's going to morph out into culture and a range of other aspects. So again, any opportunity I get to spend with Alex and listening to her is just swallowed up. And then we have probably the UK's leading light on what we shall call advisory, because I know there's a whole load of discussions about what is advisory, but John Thompson's actually been delivering that for the last 20 years via the firm Harris Walters down in Winchester Way. Before that got acquired by, I'm pretty sure it was BDO or morphed into BDO, but subsequently John has been working for himself, delivering the CAS complete advisory solution for a number of years. And again, John's actually just completed a management buyout of that particular software and advisory business.
There's loads going on. Wow, that's amazing. And so it's over 2 days.
Yep.
So we're going to, it's all about the mindset, isn't it? This is what Richard and I were chatting about earlier. And when you've got somebody that has that happen to them, be blind, it just shows if they can do it, then we can do it, because we've got nothing holding us back. And I think this is what Lucy did with her business, because you've just absolutely turned what accountants are doing on their head, haven't you, Lucy?
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I've been in this, despite my youthful appearance, I've been doing this a long time now. And I started Mazuma when I was 23. So I'm going to be talking, not to step on what I'm going to chat about at the conference, but talk about that kind of whole journey, really, of I didn't come from practice. I didn't have an injection of capital or any money, actually, to start up with. So it very much had to kind of pay my bills from day one. And that journey, really, of taking a kind of concept at that time, which was unheard of. I mean, the first business advisor I ever saw, I was very excited. I was 23, went in with my little business plan that I'd got one of those, there's like things you punch lots of holes down the side, isn't it? And it's got like a clampy grip around it, like a little tube of plastic around it. I can't remember whether those kind of binders, laminated bit on the front. So excited. And he was just said to me, he's like, this will never work. He's like, you can't do this. He's like, accountancy is the way it is for a reason. This is a terrible idea. and his
Love
name
it.
was Ian.
Yeah, have you seen him since, Lucy?
Do you know what? I have actually. He turned up at a keynote I was giving, but didn't remember me. So you know how you hold on to, you hold on to that, and I was that was like my superhero kind of origin story. I'm like, I'll show you, Ian. And then he bumped into me and was like, "Oh, great to meet you." Blah, blah. I was like, "Do you not remember me?" He was like, "Oh, I probably advised you in the early days." And he sort of said that. I didn't. I was like, "Do you know what? I'm going to walk away from this." But yeah, probably thought he'd give me some excellent advice back in the day. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I've been through that journey of having something that I kind of felt in my heart and soul was needed and was a good idea, and literally people just telling me, you are an idiot and you should be doing this, and deciding to do it anyway, to kind of at least give myself the chance of failure rather than letting someone else decide that for me. So yeah, I suppose I'm going to kind of talk about that a lot, and the journey of how to change perception, how to kind of launch something when no one else is doing it. It's almost easier to have a competitor to rub up against, because it's a really direct comparison. Oh yeah, oh okay, so you're like so and so. You go, yeah, we're a bit like those, but this is why we're better. There was nobody doing what we were doing back then, and so it's like, well, the question we got asked all the time is, why isn't anyone else doing this if it's such a good idea? I was like, I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I'm hoping to talk a little bit about that.
It's absolutely fantastic. You really are an inspiration, Lucy, and I'm going to have to get you on my show.
I'm an idiot, Ash.
On your own.
Come
No,
on.
you're not. No, you're not. No, because when someone turns around and says you can't do something, you either listen to them and don't do it, or you absolutely show them, and you absolutely showed that guy. So yeah, you're inspiring people. I just want to bring Nicola in. She's just asked a question. Is it just for accountants, or can Nicola come?
Well, of course, Nicola can come. That's for accountants and bookkeepers. So,
Yeah,
of course, you're more than welcome, Nicola. I'm sorry if that's not been made clear so far. So we will adjust our comms immediately we finish this. So my apologies. But yes, I'd love for you to come along.
So the one thing we won't do, Nicola, or anybody else, is tell you how to run your business. So from that point of view, it doesn't actually matter to us what the business is. Obviously, yeah, we're looking at the common theme of accounting and bookkeeping, but Lucy's a great example of what you can achieve if you align your mind and your heart, and that's really what this is about. It's about putting that passion into it as well. So, hey, Bookkeepers, very, very welcome.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Nicola's doing. I've seen some of her stuff as well. So yeah, absolutely. We don't have to follow that path that everybody else has done. And I think Lucy, that's the trouble, is everyone was comparing you to your old-fashioned stuffy accountants, and it doesn't have to be like that. And that's the great thing. And that's what I love about accountancy now. It's so vibrant, so many things going on. So this conference, where did the idea come from?
Well, I think it's just me and Richard are lucky enough, and Lucy, sorry, are all in a little group, and we get together and we meet quarterly. And so part of that is just to chat about what's going on. What do we like, what do we don't like about the profession? And as Richard mentioned at the top of the session, there's lots of negativity around. There's lots of, so-called gurus. I use the word very lightly, telling accountants, oh, you're rubbish at this. For example, you're rubbish at selling. They're telling that to a partner of a bloody, £10 million accountancy firm who's been there since day one. So, I would guess that he's been involved in a few sales meetings and opportunities during that time, and he can't be that bad, can he or she can't be that bad at actually, converting people into clients and then keeping them. So, and funnily enough, said guru is always, selling a wonderful course at the end of the conversation. So there are a number of instances about that, and we'd had this conversation a couple of times, and I don't remember who it was. So I'll let Richard take the glory for turning around to me and saying, "Well, when are we going to stop just talking about this and doing something and get off our backsides and deliver it? And are you up for it?" And of course, I said, "Of course I am," not really realizing what we would do. But anyway, we looked around the room, and we got lots of good people there, and we had some other and we got some great help from people like Zoe Lacey Cooper and Caroline Hopton, who obviously are experts at running conferences and have been very gracious with their expertise and time and pointing us in the right direction. And in fairness, there've been several other people who've stuck their hand up. And so when we asked people such as Lucy, this is what we're planning to do, do you want to get involved? Straight away just said yes. All of the people we we are said yes, and even Louise from Money Penny is one of the sponsors, one of the few sponsors that we have, because what we're doing is in a way is similar to what Lucy did. What don't we like about conferences is where we started from, and as I talked to you before, Ashley, there's the valley of death when you've got one room where you've got the all the attendees and all the speeches take place, and then you've got the room where you go for a cup of tea, and you've got all of those lovely sponsors lined up.
Oh, the times I've been there representing a company down there.
Yes. And probably people like me have fired you up to jump on these accountants as soon as they walk into the room. All I want, Ashley, is a cup of tea and a bloody, and a custard cream. Can you just leave me alone while I enjoy the custard cream? So that was one of the things. So we're only having, 4 sponsors. We're limiting it to 50 attendees, and the reason for that is so that the attendees get the opportunity to really speak with the speakers. So all of the speakers will be staying over on the 21st. So, and again, it's not a criticism of Accountex, but you go to Accountex, you sit in a room, you enjoy the speech, you and a couple of other people go and want to have a quick chat with the speaker, but you can't get to the speaker because there's 3 or 4 other people, and then the next speaker is on, so you're shuffled out the room and you lose that opportunity. So one of the pieces of feedback that we got when we're putting this together is that people do want to spend some time with people like Lucy. So I know that we've got one sale so far because we've got the Lucy fan club is established. You'll have to get some t-shirts printed, Lucy. So the opportunity to chat in depth with people is one of the things that people are looking forward to. I'm sure I've missed out quite a few others.
You can't name everybody because we'll be here all day. But that's the thing, isn't it? And so basically, I can come to this conference, I can learn loads of stuff, but then I can chew the fat over a beer, over a dinner, whatever, with these experts. And there's going to be a long queue at Lucy's table, I am sure.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But like you say, we've been really lucky with all of the 6 or 7 speakers that we've got. And I think one of the other things that we're going to do while he rolls back the years and goes into sales mode is there will be accountability afterwards, because why should you come to this conference when there's loads of free conferences kicking around? We are going to charge people to come along for this. I think the price ticket is more than fair for what we're delivering. But you've gone to loads of free conferences, and what have you done about your practice? What have you changed about your accountancy business? Often nothing, because as soon as you go back in, you get asked the question, those really important questions such as what color toilet paper should we buy this week, and all of those questions which you really should be getting rid of and letting other people taken care of. So there will be accountability. There'll be me and Richard will be following up after the event with one-to-one phone calls for everyone that comes along. So like you say, a whole list of what we didn't like, what's the complete opposite of that, and let's see if we can put this together and deliver something that adds real value to people.
No, absolutely fantastic. So Lucy, what excited you about the conference, and why did you want to get involved and be a speaker?
I liked the fact that it was intimate. So it is a limited, exclusive, if you like, kind of number of people. I do a lot of public speaking, and afterwards, one of my frustrations as a speaker is I do have people wanting to talk to me, and invariably I'm kind of off to the next stage, or I've got to kind of ship off somewhere else. I like the fact that we were all kind of holed up in a place for a couple of days, and you're going to get a chance to know people. For me, the richest conversations I've ever had, or the things that have really inspired change in terms of what I do, or kind of pushed me to take the next step in the business, have been where I spent extended time with people, and I've got under the skin of them a little bit. I've kind of they trust me a little bit more, so they're a little bit more vulnerable with me, and kind of I'm always very prepared, avid oversharer. I'm always very prepared to go warts and all. And I think sometimes hearing those things and kind of, how am I saying this? Sometimes you get a speaker up on stage and they're a motivational speaker, and that's great. And they're like, yeah, you can do it. And it's brilliant. You kind of leave that and you go, woo, great. And then you walk off and life hits you in the face, and you've got a million emails to deal with, and someone's phoned in sick, and someone else's car's broken down. You're just dealing with other people's problems. And you can't bottle that moment and take it with you. It's in the moment you're motivated, but it's hard to take that back into real life. What I liked about this was that you're there for a longer time. You get over that initial, oh yeah, I'm excited, and you get into the not just that I want to do this, but like, what am I actually going to take off this? What am I actually going to do? And who's going to do it? How am I going to do it? And you get to ask people, and I think that's where it's different. I think actually kind of conference or maybe isn't it, maybe we need a new word for kind of what this is, because I think it's a different sort of personal development opportunity for accountants. It doesn't really exist out there. Yeah, that real opportunity to kind of go deep with some of these speakers and yeah, find out what makes them tick, or me tick even.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knows?
and the thing is, when you see a speaker, so yeah, I've come to Accountex, I've seen Lucy, she's up there, because everyone else is looking at you, and you seem like a god, and it's sort of like, oh, she's untouchable, she's beyond me, or whatever. But if I'm going to have dinner with her in the bar later, she's just a normal person. She's just like me.
I really am.
Yeah, and so I can do it. She's just normal.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing. I love that.
And I like that everyone who's speaking is very willing to kind of, it's quite something to allow yourself to be kind of vulnerable with other people and kind of have those kind of intimate conversations. And all the speakers you've got there that Dermot's kind of and Richard have picked are people who have that. So Brian Coventry, for example, is an incredibly inspirational man. Like, I've had some amazing conversations with him, and I've got so much out of it. What a treat for other people to get that too. I think that's the specialness of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got this Envision thing. So Richard, you're going to tell us what all that is about then, please.
Yeah, we wanted, I mean, we've set the bar very high, in fact, for this conference, because we do want it to be a pivotal moment. We want people to go away from it, not just enthused because they've had a great 48 hours, but determined to change. And if we're going to do that, we can't just switch their minds on, and we've got to give them a very, very clear process to follow as well, and that's where Envision comes in. As Dermot says, Brian will apply the Envision process now to any firm before he actually does what they thought he was coming to do, which was to put the tech into the business. So you've got to look first of all at what's happening within the people within the firm, where the firm's starting point is, and that's often the biggest challenge, particularly for attendees in conferences. We've talked about Accountex, and you go along to Accountex and you get excited by, you listen to Lucy talk, you think this is fantastic, I'm going to do this. Then as Lucy says, you go back into the office, and Dermot said you order in toilet roll. So we wanted to make sure that they had a process to follow, not just during the event, but afterwards as well, so that actually it does change their business. And Envision is a fantastic tool. Dermot, maybe you can say a bit more because you've used this live, but it's hugely valuable to the firms that apply it, because it enables you to not just talk about change or wish for change, but actually to apply it within the circumstances of your own business.
Yes, indeed. So in terms of Envision, I think what it actually creates is a climate within the firm where the stakeholders are going to be involved in the project sit down before the project actually kicks off. And yes, Brian obviously has a technology background, but this can be applied to any large project taking place within an accounting business. And you're clearing out all of the issues and potential issues which may crop up during the delivery of that project. And so you're addressing them as a group, and then you're actually prioritizing those parts of the project where you want to start, because you think that will have the most impact first, so getting some big wins in place. So it's actually a path which can be applied to all aspects of a firm as it goes through the change and delivery of these projects. So it's very powerful, and I do know, because I've had some conversations with Brian over the past 2-3 weeks, that he's actually adapting it especially for the conference. So all I can say is that if you've not heard of Brian before, he really is a fantastic bloke, and he's put a huge amount of thought. I mean, Brian was talking about culture within accounting businesses when most people thought it was something that they studied in science lessons at school, so he's way ahead of the curve. He really is a guru, and I'll only say those things because he's not on the call. So he's a fantastic chap. He's spending a lot of time adapting Envision so that it is the hook, it's the foundations for the 2 days of the conference. So.
Exciting stuff, and I think that's the thing. If you can give somebody a framework or someone some pointers of what they need to do, they're going to go back and do it. And because it's a I think we need to come up with another word, Richard. You're quite right. Or was it Lucy that said that? Conference doesn't quite do it justice, does it? And I think when we come away from this, we're going to go, right, we want to do this and we want to do that, and we've seen people and chatted to people as well. We're running out of time. I can't believe how quickly that has gone. That is absolutely crazy. So I hope you're better at managing the time than I am when you come to your event. So what will be the key takeaways that attendees are going to get from coming along to, I'm going to call it an event. It's more than a conference.
Okay, so I'll go first, but I'm sure Richard will be able to enhance whatever I say. I think what they're going to go away with is a plan, or the start of a plan, which they can piece together with our help, and that will really enable them to create the firm that they want rather than the firm that they have.
I like that.
Yeah, Dermot, you're very succinct for a change. I'm impressed. That's the most succinct I've ever heard. Yeah, I agree. We're going to give them clarity first of all, so they'll have clarity of vision, and then they will have their own steps for where they move from there. So back to the point we made earlier, what we don't have is a single fix that suits every firm. Every firm in the room will be different. Every firm will have their own. There'll be some common challenges, but they'll have their own particular issues and goals. The process will enable them to go away with their plan, which will be different to everybody else there. And the fact that Dermot and I will then essentially be a professional pain in the neck to them thereafter to make sure they imply it, is where the real value comes from.
No, perfect. Right. We've pretty much run out of time. We've got a little competition here for a free ticket. Is that right, Dermot?
Yes, so it's going to be a free ticket. So first of all, before we wrap up, if anyone does have any questions, then feel free to contact myself or Richard on LinkedIn. We're all over LinkedIn at the moment. Hopefully you've noticed us. So if you do have any questions, either quickly put them in the the comments box and we'll answer them now, or contact us after the event. But yes, seeing as not just you and Lucy go back a long way, Ashley, but I actually have known you since 2008, and you've been very kind at helping us to promote the event with this one-off special at very short notice. And so a big thanks to you for putting that on and putting yourself out to help us.
Well, now I've got you. You can all come back afterwards, and we'll have a follow-up. Okay, just so you can let us know what went on, because obviously lots more people want to come to the next one. So we'll put a follow-up in. So my quick question before we go to the competition is I want you guys to think about one thing that you're really excited for. So when I come back to you after we've done the competition, I want you to just sort of what's the most exciting thing you're looking forward to at your event. So Dermot, this question then, tell everybody what they're going to win and what they have to do.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question, and then you have to reply as quickly as you can. Is it the comments box?
If you go into the comments box, we want the nearest number, don't we?
Yeah. So we want the nearest,
not the first. We want the nearest.
So obviously, yes, you've got to be either accurate on the nail, or you've got to be the closest to it. All the answers that we get. So how long are we going to give people? 30 seconds.
Well, just the time for everybody to go around and tell us what they're what they're most excited about.
Okay, so I will ask the question now, and then we'll start this round robin. So as soon as I ask the question, I'll then allow Lucy to tell us what she's most excited about, then to Richard, and then to me. So that gives me time to think. So the question for the free ticket is, what was the attendance at the Ladies Euros final at Wembley? So the Ladies Euros final, the England Lionesses, a couple of weeks ago.
Well, there you go. There's the question. So, ladies first, what are you most excited about, Lucy, about this event?
So obviously I'm very excited to be up on stage talking. I love doing that. But I'm really, really excited because I also find when I go to events, even if I am speaking, I get loads out of it. So I'm really excited to hear the other speakers and to meet attendees and learn what they're up to as well. For me, it's a bonus. I get to you go on the stage, but to meet everybody else and hear what they're up to, that's what's exciting for me.
Fantastic. Richard?
For me, it's the energy in the room. People don't associate passion and creativity and emotion with accountants, and it's out there. I see it all the time, and we'll have it in bucket loads in that room.
Fantastic. Dermot?
Well, I'm most excited about hearing John Toon speak, because I forgot to mention him when I did the roundup of the speakers a few moments ago. So John's going to be helping us out on technology. He's a great guy, digital strategy at Beavers and Struthers. So he's a practicing accountant, and he really has got his finger on the pulse of technology. So this is not a technology event, but we have got some people with some great experience and backgrounds in tech.
Yeah, right. There's obviously a bit of delay because what happens is when we say something, it's about, I think it's a few seconds or whatever before then people start pushing them in. So we've only got one in at the moment. So at the moment, Julie's going to win. So if anyone else is watching, they fancy a ticket, all they've got to do is put a number in of how many people were at the ladies Euros final at Wembley a few weeks ago. So I think we need to give it a couple more minutes. So we got that all coming in now. They're all coming in now. That's all right then. I was a little bit worried then, but then when I'm watching these lives and I put a comment and they don't mention me yet, and then they mention me. So we just got to give it a couple more seconds.
Okay.
So there's a few more. Which one is Julie going to take? We've got to take Julie's first one, I think, to be fair. Because she's put it in twice. So I'm sorry, Julie, we're going to take your first one.
Yeah, and you've got to be here on the live event to actually win the ticket. Yeah.
So Dermot, before we give the answer away, how do they get tickets? How do they find out about it?
Good point. So the way to find tickets, either contact me or Richard directly, or we have a website which is ACCT, so Account for Your Future. So all the three other words for your future are spelled as they sound, as they should be in an English lesson, but account is spelled ACCT. So accountforyourfuture.co.uk. On the website, that then has a ticket section which takes you through to Eventbrite, and you can book your tickets there. So we still have some early birds left. The early birds are at £650. Now that does include your bedroom for the night and kind of evening buffet meal that we're putting on. So they are included in that ticket price. After the early birds go, we're back up to £1,000 for full ticket price. £1,000 again, including bedroom and evening meals kind of thing.
Fantastic. That is still amazing value for money, because if you go to Accountex, you keep mentioning Accountex, or even the digital accountancy show, you've got to stay overnight, and we know how much it is to stay near those events, which is crazy. So we've got Nicola, Julie, Vanessa, and Parth. I think we've got to draw the line. So Dermot, do you want to give us the actual the number of people at that event, and then who's the winner?
You'll have to give the winner Ash, because I can't see them. But the actual amount, the attendance at the Euros final was 87,192. 87,192.
Hang on. So Nicola. So we said Julie couldn't have it because she put 68,000 to start off with. Nicola put 87,000 dead. All right. And then Julie's second guess was 88,000. So it's got to be Nicola that's the winner. So that's absolutely fantastic. So congratulations, Nicola. Dermot,
so Nicola, if
you'll be in touch with Nicola, won't you, Dermot?
Yeah, or Nicola, if you can just drop me a line on LinkedIn, I will follow up this afternoon. I'm at my desk this afternoon, so we'll get all that sorted.
That's really exciting. I know Nicola. I know she's probably dancing around the room.
Fantastic.
Pulling cartwheels and everything. So that's absolutely super.
Let's hope she's dancing around the room in Marlow in a couple of weeks' time.
She certainly will be. You won't forget her. So that's great, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. It's really lovely to meet you. I can't wait to hear how it all goes. I know it's going to be a huge success. It'd be absolutely a brilliant event for everybody that attends. So thank you very much for coming on. Any last words from anybody before we disappear?
See you there, Nicola.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the dancing.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be dancing. That's one thing that's not going to take place.
Oh, you're always dancing, Dermot. Come on.
Oh well, I try. Always. You know that. I do my best.
Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody for the comments, and good luck with the event. So brilliant. Cheers, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Ashley.
Bye.